You're welcome to today's wonderful teaching. I'll be talking on communication in your marriage and relationship. Communication in your marriage and relationship is very important. It's very important. There are some marriages that they don't communicate, they don't discuss, they don't talk. The only thing the man does is to provide for the family. The only thing the woman does is to ask and even provide for the family whenever they want to talk. Either they are talking when the man wants to have sex with the woman, or the woman is talking to the man when she needs something from the man. Communication in your marriage is so important. Why? Because it will make your marriage sweet. Why? Because you got to know each other weaknesses and strength. Why? Because in marriage it's just one door. Marriage is just one door in and no door out. Communication in a marriage, lack of communication is like a river that is not flowing. The river that is just static is not flowing anywhere. Now, various things will happen to that river. That river will soon dry up. If there are fishes in that river, those fish will die. Why? It's not flowing. It has a dead end. What is communication? Communication simply means expressing your feelings, not only your feelings, your emotion, your action, and your reaction to your spouse. It is so paramount for you to know that, because how will you know that communication is important when you are asking that lady out, when you have not gotten married to her? Remember that you do back-to-back communication with her. Every morning you call to check on her, or you send text, sweet early morning text to her, and hello, wonderful morning, God bless you, and all that. In the afternoon you check on her, how you doing today, have you eaten? In the evening you still communicate with her. At the end of the day, she now accept you to become a husband. Likewise, the lady, you do check on the man. So this communication is a continuous process. It's not a thing that you will do and maybe you will do it for a while, and at the end of the day, when you guys are together, you stop doing it. So communication needs to flow. Now the question is, how do I communicate effectively to my spouse? Number one, you communicate effectively to your spouse by listening to your spouse. Now, you are listening to hear from his or her point of view, not that you are listening to gather words to use against him or her. No, you are listening to know where she's coming from. You are listening to learn from her. How do you communicate effectively to your spouse? You communicate effectively to your spouse by maintaining high contact as you are talking or as she is talking. There are some persons that as they are talking to them, there are some spouses as they are talking to each other, you see that one is pressing phone, or rather one is watching movie, or rather one is doing something else. At the end of the day, the other spouse will not say, I'm talking to you, but you're doing something else. You say, is it not ear that I used to hear? Yes, it is ear that you used to hear, but you need to maintain eye contact. It shows that you are actually listening to what your spouse is saying. Listen and admit that you are wrong. It is not enough to listen. It is to listen, to learn, listen, and to admit your faults. Admit that you are wrong. You are not always right. You are not always right. You are not always right. Listen. After you listen, admit your fault. Another way to communicate effectively is to listen and admit, and again say, I'm sorry. I am sorry. I am sorry. Apologize when you have discovered that you are wrong. Apologize to your spouse when you have discovered that you are wrong. When you have discovered you are the one that is at fault, simply say, I am sorry. I am sorry can do a lot of things. I am sorry can solve a lot of problems. There are some persons that are too proud to say I'm sorry. There are some persons that say, in my culture, men does not apologize to women. Who said so? Did God said so? Guys are in a ship that both of you need to pilot that ship to make that relationship or courtship or even marriage work. So when you are wrong, it's the time to admit your faults. After admitting your fault, it is the time to say, I am sorry. I am sorry, honey. I never see it this way. I am sorry, darling. I will never see it this way. So doing this, you are communicating effectively in your marriage. Another way to communicate effectively in your marriage or relationship is to listen, learn, and not to repeat what your partner is complaining about. Listen, learn, apologize, and not to repeat it. There are some persons that are fond of saying, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Give them 1 hour, they will do that thing. No, that is not the best way to do it. The best way to do it is to listen, learn, apologize, and not to repeat that particular thing that your partner is quarreling about or is talking about. You not to repeat it. It will show that you've actually learned. It will show that you are actually sorry by not repeating what your partner is complaining about. Another way of communicating effectively is try not to be using harsh words to your spouse. Harsh words, abusive words. Try not to be abusive to your spouse in words. Remember, the power of life and death lies in your tongue. There are some persons that their partner do use their mouths to destroy them. There are some persons that their partner, if they don't insult them, they are not okay. It's now a norm in the home that the husband will know what the wife wants to say next. That what she wants to say next must be an insulting word. That the woman must know what the man wants to say next. That what the man wants to say next is an insulting word. No, your marriage will not work well like that. In your marriage, try not to use abusive words on each other. Try to use words that are comforting. Try to use words that can elevate. Try to use words that can encourage each other. Another way to communicate effectively in your marriage is to use sweet words. After you try not to use abusive words, use sweet words on each other. Use sweet words on each other. I keep saying, remember when you were wooing her. Remember when you were acting her heart. Remember when he was giving you the green light and you were flowing with him. Those words that you were using. Keep using those words. Use sweet words. Where is the place of I love you in your home? Where is the place of darling, you are the best thing that has ever happened to me in this life? Where is the words of you are just too good, I appreciate you being by my side? Where are those words that you do say to your spouse? It is time to start saying it and keep saying it. Don't stop saying it. Say sweet words to your spouse today. Say nice words to your spouse today. It will boost their morale. It will encourage them to do more. It will make them feel happy. It will make them to have good esteem. It will make them to be happy with you in your home. One way to communicate effectively is to tell each other your strengths and your weakness. Like things that you know when they do to you that you like. Your strength and your weakness is very important. It will interest you that to know that there are some homes that the woman works more than the man. It's true. There are some homes that the man cooks more than the woman. Your love language might not be the next man's love language. So stop using your tradition to generalize a love language. There are some homes that it is different. So know your strength and your weakness. Now, if both parties have known their strength, the thing is to complement each other's strength. complement each other's strength, and again the weakness, to see how to work on your weakness to turn it to strength. By doing this in your marriage, you will go far. By doing this in your marriage will be sweet, your marriage will be new again. Another thing that we need to see in communication in a marriage is the kinds of communication. What are the kinds of communication? You know definitely that communication, you can either say it by words or by sign. By words or by sign. There are words that a man will tell the woman. The woman will know where the man is going on, what the man is actually saying. Either the words might be in code, or the words might be in open words that everybody understands. There are signs that a man will give a woman, that the woman will understand what the man is saying. Most especially when you start bringing kids, when you start raising kids, you start using signs, on your wife or on your husband. Kinds of communication in marriage. There are two kinds that I wrote. Number one, we have the act or action communication. The act or action communication. The other one is the feelings or emotion communication. Number one, the act on or action communication. I repeat again, the act or action communication. Now, these are communication that you guys need to come together and to discuss about, like things that your husband knows how to do best, like the weaknesses and the strength of your husband, the actions. How will your husband react in certain condition? How will your wife react in certain condition or situation? Act or action communication. There are certain husband or wives that needs to be pushed in their marriage. You need to understand that, and you guys need to discuss it. By knowing your strength and your weakness, there are people that needs to be pushed to do the right thing in their marriage. Because if you don't push them, they will become lazy. If you don't motivate them, they will become down. There are certain persons that you need to use words. Pump in positive words in them. Tell them that they can make it. Tell them to go out. Tell them to do this. Encourage them in doing what they are doing. There are certain spouse that needs encouragement. Their action, they need somebody to push them to do something. By the time you push them, you see them doing it well. You see them doing it with all level of joy. Number two is the art of knowing each other's feelings in communication. This is the time that you need to sit down. There are times that you need to sit down with your spouse to discuss about your feelings with each other. Sit down together to discuss about, since we have been together, what has been going on. How are you feeling with me now when we've gotten married? Not only that, it's the art of talking together about love. There's some person that they don't discuss love again. Immediately they get married, love dies. Not until they quarrel before love come back. And the love will come back. Not until something happens. No, don't wait for something to happen before you now start feeling the love. It's the time to discuss love with your spouse. Discuss love with your wife. Discuss love with your husband. Do you love me the way you do? Definitely, she'll say yes or he will say yes. Just talk about love. Love needs to be rekindled. You need to ignite the love. You don't just love and allow it to be. You need to rekindle. There are things you need to do to rekindle your love. Number one is to communicate about it. What are the things that you think I'll need to do, honey, for this love to grow more than this? And you'll be surprised of what she will tell you. You'll be surprised of what he will tell you. Another aspect of emotional or feeling communication is to talk about your sexual life. Talk about your sexual life. Yes, I said it. Discuss about it. There are some homes that are breaking today. There are some homes that will break tomorrow. But I pray your home will not break in Jesus' name. But you just need to talk about it. Talk about it. Honey, what are the things that you think I'll need to do to improve on our sex life? What are the things? Where do you want me to touch you that you like? These are some things that you just need to talk about. What are the things that you need me to do, to improve on this area of our lives? Just discuss about it. Discuss about sex. Because whether you like it or not, sex makes your marriage to move faster. You can't be too spiritual about this one. Sex. You are looking at me. Yes. Yes, I said so. I said so. And you know so. Sex makes your marriage to move faster. As a woman, don't be too tired. Don't retire in sex. Don't retire. Don't say, oh, I'm old. You can never be too old in sex as long as your husband is alive. You can never be too old. And as a man, don't be tired of your wife. You need to appreciate her body. You need to appreciate what God has given her, but don't be too tired to go for her. That is it. Don't be too tired. You need to discuss about it. How do you like it? You just need to. Most of these things we don't discuss it in church. Some persons think that as you are saying it means that you are not spiritual. No, 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 no. It doesn't really mean that you are not spiritual. It means that you are matured enough to come to reality. You are matured enough to say things that will actually help us in our marriage. Many people shy away from this topic. Sexual education in your marriage. Discuss about it. Your spouse knows her body more than you, and you know your body more than her. It's a thing to come together, discuss about it, to communicate about it, and you will discover that when after communicating about it, oh my God, you will see the improvements. Another area that we need to talk about in communication, talk about your time together. Time together. Many spouses don't have time together alone, not with the kids. Time together, time to go out together, time to go to an eatery together, time to just go out somewhere, look for a place to stay and stay alone with your husband or stay alone with your wife. So important. It is not the time to carry the kids alongside. It is the time to look for either your grandmom or your other mom or dad, as the case may be. If you have help, give your kids to your sister, your brother, as the case may be, so that they can help you look after them. And you spend time with your spouse alone. Look at each other's eyes and just smile. You might not be saying anything, but actually you are saying it. And smile. You'll be amazed how your marriage will be flowing well and working better. Another thing in communication in marriage is to talk about positive past memories. Talk about positive past memories. Another thing that you need to discuss in your marriage or your relationship. Your past memories together. The first day you saw her, the first eatery, or the first place you went, the first acting that you went. Talk about it. These are ways to ignite your love. These are ways to make the relationship work better. These are ways to make your marriage sweet again. Discuss about past memories. Discuss about sweet time. The first time she laughed and she fell down. Like she laughed and she fell down. The first time that you were so happy. The first time you guys make out together. You can just talk about it. How you felt when it happened. The first time you guys kiss, your honeymoon. You can discuss about your honeymoon. You can discuss about the first time you took her to your parents. You can just discuss about something that will make you guys happy again. Take time to talk about your past sweet memories together. And again, that leads me to another thing. There are some things that you don't need to discuss in your marriage. There are some things, I repeat again, there are some things that you don't need to discuss in your marriage. You don't need to communicate in your marriage. Number one thing that you don't need to communicate in your marriage is your past relationship. Is your past relationship. Most times I hear people and I see people discussing it. It's your past relationship. It is not advisable, but there are some that do it. But it's not advisable. Let your past be past. Stop bringing your past relationship to your present marriage. Stop comparing your ex to your future. Let your ex be ex. Let him ex. Just leave him alone. Stop discussing about your past relationship. Stop discussing about horrible moment you had. Another thing that we need to communicate in our marriage is to talk about your appearance. Your appearance is very paramount. Your appearance. There are some persons, immediately they get married, I don't know what they are doing with rapper. In the morning, you see them with wrapper. There are some women. In the afternoon, we see them with wrapper. In the evening, we see them with wrapper. They want to sleep at night. They will still look for wrapper to wear. To the extent they will start changing wrapper. Wear green in the morning, wear blue in the afternoon, wear yellow in the evening. In the midnight, they will now wear black. That is not it. Look good for your man. Look good for your man. What is wrong with your nightgown? Oh, okay, I just said nightgown. What is wrong with you putting on nightgown? And to the men, what is wrong with you changing your boxes, your boxers, changing it, putting on clean singlet? What is wrong with you? There are some men that do wrapper in the morning. When they go to work, when they come in the evening, they are just in short. Their children know their wrapper. That is wrapper. What is wrong with you putting on short knicker? Look good, look presentable, and you are going out as a woman. Look sweet for your husband. Appear well, because you are going out to see other persons, and your husband is looking at you. So your appearance matters a lot. Talk about your appearance. What do you like me wearing? Which color do you like me wearing? How big do you like me to wear the gown? If you want the gown that is as big as your room, your husband will tell you, then put on the gown that is as big as the room. But if the man tells you, this gown is too big, can you just, shaping it in a way so that, what God has given you will come out? The man likes it. Yes. Shape it for your husband. Shape it for your husband. Because remember, I wrote a book, things that side chick do that every woman should learn from. There are some things that a woman must do for the husband, because men sees with the eyes. So for you to keep your marriage afresh, keep your marriage going, if your husband said, I don't like this buluku that you are wearing, my dear, change the buluku. Change it. Tell him to give you money. If maybe he doesn't give money, surprise him. Wear a buluku. Go to the tailor. Tell the tailor to adjust the buluku for you. It might not be too tight, but just let him adjust the buluku. Another thing in appearance is your hairdo. Your hairdo. There are some spouses that they like long hair, they like short hair, they like cutting hair, as the case may be. There are some spouses that their hairdo matters to them. They like putting that short hairdo or long hairdo. There are some spouses that like it long. There are some spouses that like it short. It all depends on what your partner likes. Discuss with him. Discuss with her. Honey, darling, my dear, what kind of hair do you want me to be putting on? Do you want the long one? Do you want the short one? Do you want the one with coil? Do you just name it for your husband, for your wife? Do it. How do you want me to be changing hair? Not the one that you carry one hair and the hair will be smelling. The hair will be smelling, and you want the man to embrace you. You want the man to put his nose on the hair. At the end of the day, when the man tries to put his nose, the man perceives the smell. It will destroy the flow. It will just cut off the flow, and you keep praying that it's the enemies from your father's house. Most times it is not the enemies from your father's house. There are some husbands, they don't barb their wives, or even husbands, they don't barb their hair on their armpits, and most times it smells. Most times it brings out a lot of, oh my God, please barb it and look good. Please get my book. I want you to get the book that I wrote, or write me, or write us on our email. We can send you the e-copy. Things that the side chick does that every wife should learn from the side chick. It will interest you to know some things that they do that you don't do at home, that is making that woman, that man to go outside. Even that is making that woman to go outside. Most of them, they are not using charm. They are not going anywhere. They are just doing simple things that you need to do. Another thing that you need to look about is your neatness. How neat you are. Talk about it in your communication. After you talked about your appearance, your look, your hair, you have to maintain your hair and all that. Talk about your neatness. Talk about your neatness. And you as a spouse, there's nothing wrong you bathing. There's nothing wrong you bathing. No matter how busy you are, when you come home, the first thing you do, not to pull your shoe one place, pull your clothes one place, and you jump to the bed and you expect your wife to jump on you. No, 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 not that. The first thing you do is to take your bait. You as a woman, you know that you've gone outside, you've walked, you've done a lot of movement and all that. The last thing to do is to take your bath. Once you just entered, take your bath and smell nice. There's nothing wrong in smelling nice for your husband. Smell nice. Go and get perfume. If that be the case, go and get something deodorant. Get it. Nothing will happen to you. It will not take you to hell. I say it will not take you to hell by looking nice and looking good for your husband, by looking fresh for your husband. These and many more to do as you join me in another section on communication with your spouse. Thank you and God bless you. Amen.